What does it take to go from a fresh-faced recruit to commanding the most elite warriors on the planet? Navy SEALs are the tip of the spear, the most feared special operations force in the United States military, and arguably the world. They hunt terrorists in the dead of night, conduct underwater demolitions in freezing waters, and execute missions so classified that the public won't hear about them for decades, if ever. But here's what most people don't realize. Navy SEALs still operate within the military rank structure. There's a massive difference between the brand new guy who just earned his trident and the seasoned operator commanding an entire SEAL team. The pay is different. The respect is different. The responsibility is wildly different. So today, we are going to walk through every rank a Navy SEAL can hold, from the bottom to the very top, and show you exactly what life looks like at each stage. The training, the missions, the pay, the politics, and the brutal realities that come with climbing the ladder in the most demanding job on earth. Let's get started. You're nothing. Every enlisted SEAL candidate starts their Navy career at the bottom. E1, Seaman Recruit. You'll earn roughly $22,000 a year base pay, and you'll spend your early days in boot camp at Great Lakes, Illinois, just like every other sailor in the Navy. You're shaving your head, folding your clothes into perfect squares, and getting screamed at by drill instructors. But unlike most sailors, you've got a golden ticket in your contract, a slot to attempt BUDOS, Basic Underwater Demolition SEAL Training. Before you even get to BUDOS in Coronado, California, you'll go through Naval Special Warfare Preparatory School, an 8-week gut check of swimming, running, and calisthenics designed to weed out candidates who aren't physically ready. You're doing timed ocean swims, 4-mile runs in boots, and hundreds of push-ups and flutter kicks daily. If you survive prep school, congratulations, now the real suffering begins. At BUDOS, you'll spend 6 months being broken down in ways you never thought possible. First phase is the most infamous. It includes Hell Week, 5.5 days of continuous training with a maximum of 4 hours of total sleep. You're cold, wet, sandy, exhausted, and surrounded by a shrinking class. The average attrition rate hovers around 75 to 80%. 3 out of 4 guys quit. During this phase, you might promote to E2 or E3, which bumps your pay to maybe $25,000 or $27,000 a year. But honestly, you won't even notice. You're too busy trying not to drown, hypothermiate, or ring the bell. At these ranks, you have zero authority, zero autonomy, and your only job is to survive. If you make it through BUDOS, SEAL qualification training, and finally earn your trident, that iconic gold eagle, anchor, trident, and flintlock pistol pin, you'll likely be an E4, Petty Officer 3rd Class. This is where your life as an actual Navy SEAL begins. You'll be assigned to a SEAL team. They're numbered teams on both coasts, with teams based in Coronado, California, and Virginia Beach, Virginia. As the new guy, or FNG as the teams affectionately call you, you are at the absolute bottom of the food chain. You've earned the trident, but you haven't earned respect, not yet. Your base pay is around $31,000 to $33,000, but with special duty assignment pay, hazardous duty pay, demolition pay, and dive pay, you're looking at significantly more. Total compensation can push toward $50,000 to $55,000 depending on your qualifications. Your job is to shut up, listen, and learn from the senior guys. You'll be assigned to a platoon of roughly 16 operators, and you'll train relentlessly, shooting thousands of rounds, practicing close quarters combat, land warfare, free-fall parachuting, combat diving, and more. You carry the heaviest loads. You clean the weapons. You set up the training areas. If something needs to be done and nobody wants to do it, that's your job. But you're also deploying. And on deployment, bullets don't care about your rank. You'll be expected to perform at the highest level from day one. After a few years and at least one deployment, you'll pick up E5, Petty Officer 2nd Class. This is where you start to become a seasoned operator. Base pay rises to around $36,000 to $40,000, but with all the special pays and deployment bonuses, you could be pulling in $65,000 to $75,000 or more. You're no longer the new guy. You've got a deployment under your belt, maybe 2. You've seen combat. You've made life and death decisions in real time. And the younger guys are now looking at you the way you once looked at the senior operators. At E5, you might start to specialize. SEALs have specific roles within their platoons: point man, breacher, sniper, communicator, medic, navigator, or lead diver. By now, you've found your niche and you're becoming an expert in it. You might attend advanced schools, the legendary sniper school, joint terminal attack controller training to call in airstrikes, or advanced combat medic courses. These schools make you exponentially more valuable to your platoon. On deployment, you're pulling your weight and then some. You're mentoring the new guys, running rehearsals, and executing direct action raids, special reconnaissance, and counter-terrorism operations. The tempo is relentless. During the height of operations in Iraq and Afghanistan, SEAL platoons were conducting hundreds of missions per deployment. Your body is starting to feel it. Knees ache. Shoulders are wrecked from parachuting. Your hearing is diminished from thousands of breaching charges and gunfire. But you push through because that's what SEALs do. E6 is where you become a true backbone of the SEAL teams. As a petty officer first class, you've typically got 6 to 10 years in the teams. You've deployed multiple times. You've lost friends. You've got a chest full of awards and a body full of injuries you don't talk about. Base pay is around $42,000 to $48,000, but total compensation with all special pays, BAH, basic allowance for housing, and deployment income can easily exceed $85,000 to $100,000. At this rank, you're likely serving as a leading petty officer within your platoon or taking on a key leadership billet. You're the bridge between the junior operators and the senior enlisted leadership. Platoon commanders, who are officers, rely heavily on E6 SEALs to make the tactical machine run smoothly. This is also when many SEALs face the hardest decision of their careers: stay in or get out. The private sector is lucrative. Defense contractors, security consulting firms, and tech companies will pay handsomely for your skill set. Many of your buddies have already left, and they're making 6 figures working half the hours. But if you stay, the next step changes everything. Making chief in the Navy is a massive deal. In the SEAL teams, it's sacred. When you pin on that anchored fouled anchor, you join the chief's mess, a tradition-rich institution that runs the operational heart of the Navy. Base pay is around $48,000 to $55,000, but total compensation can push well past $110,000 to $120,000. As a SEAL chief, you are the most experienced tactical operator in your platoon. The platoon commander, typically a lieutenant, 03, has the rank, but the chief has the knowledge. Smart officers lean heavily on their chiefs, and the best platoons are built on a strong officer-chief partnership. You're planning missions, managing training schedules, handling personnel issues, and still going outside the wire on every operation. You lead from the front, but you also lead from a place of wisdom. You know when to push the guys and when to pull them back. You've seen enough combat to know the difference between calculated aggression and recklessness. Your body is breaking down. Surgeries are piling up. But you keep going because leading SEALs in combat is the greatest honor of your life. Senior Chief Petty Officer and Master Chief Petty Officer represent the pinnacle of enlisted SEAL life. An E8 Senior Chief earns a base pay around $56,000 to $62,000, while an E9 Master Chief can earn $65,000 to $80,000 base, with total compensation exceeding $130,000 to $150,000. At these ranks, you're no longer kicking indoors on every mission, though some still do. You're more likely serving as a troop senior enlisted leader, a task unit senior enlisted, or even the command master chief for an entire SEAL team. You're responsible for the welfare, discipline, training, and readiness of dozens or even hundreds of SEALs. You advise commanding officers on everything from operational planning to morale. You sit in briefing rooms with admirals and generals, and your opinion carries enormous weight because you've been there and done that, repeatedly. The most senior Master Chief in Naval Special Warfare serves as the Force Master Chief, advising the Admiral who runs all SEAL operations. This is a position of immense influence. This person shapes policy, training standards, and culture for the entire SEAL community. At this stage, you've given 20 to 30 years of your life to the teams. Your body is held together by titanium and stubbornness. But you've shaped the next generation of warriors, and that legacy is worth more than any paycheck. Now let's flip to the officer side. SEAL officers start as ensigns, 01, typically after graduating from the Naval Academy, ROTC, or Officer Candidate School. They go through the same BUDOS pipeline as enlisted candidates. Same cold water. Same hell week. Same bell waiting to be rung. Rank provides zero privilege in BUDOS. An 01 earns around $40,000 base pay, an 02 around $50,000, and an 03 around $58,000 to $65,000. With special pays and allowances, Total compensation for a SEAL lieutenant is typically $90,000 to $110,000. As a junior officer, you'll serve as an assistant platoon commander, then as a platoon commander, leading 16 elite operators into combat. This is arguably the best job in the military. You're planning and executing real-world missions with the most capable fighters on Earth. But you'd better be humble. Your chief and senior enlisted operators have far more tactical experience than you. The best SEAL officers listen, learn, and lead with quiet competence. The ones who let ego take over don't last long. After your platoon commander tour, you'll typically serve as a troop commander or operations officer, overseeing multiple platoons. At 04, lieutenant commander, your career shifts from tactical to operational and strategic. Base pay ranges from $72,000 to $85,000, with total compensation reaching $130,000 to $150,000. You might serve as an executive officer of a SEAL team, the second in command, managing the day-to-day operations of an entire command. Then, if selected, you'll take command. An 05 commander who takes command of a SEAL team is responsible for hundreds of operators and support personnel. You're deploying task units around the globe, managing budgets in the tens of millions, and answering directly to flag officers at SOCOM and the Pentagon. This is where the political game intensifies. You're navigating Pentagon bureaucracy, inter-service rivalries, and congressional oversight while trying to keep your operators trained, equipped, and focused on the mission. Not everyone makes it this far. The promotion boards are competitive, and many talented SEALs are passed over. Those who make it have demonstrated not just tactical excellence but strategic thinking, communication skills, and political savvy. An 06 captain in the SEAL teams can command a naval special warfare group, overseeing multiple SEAL teams and thousands of personnel. Base pay exceeds $100,000, with total compensation pushing well past $170,000 to $200,000. And then there's the rarest air of all, flag officer, a SEAL admiral. Only a handful of SEALs in history have pinned on stars. The commander of Naval Special Warfare Command, a rear admiral, oversees all SEAL teams, special boat teams, and support units. The commander of Joint Special Operations Command or even Special Operations Command itself could be a SEAL admiral, coordinating Tier 1 operations across the globe. At this level, you're briefing the president. You're making decisions that affect national security. You've gone from shivering in the surf zone at Coronado to sitting in the Situation Room at the White House. Your base pay as an admiral can exceed $180,000 to $200,000, but that almost feels irrelevant. You've spent 25 to 30 years building toward this moment. The weight on your shoulders is immense. Every decision you make could save lives or cost them. From seaman recruit to admiral. From the freezing surf of BUDOS to the halls of the Pentagon. The Navy SEAL pipeline is the most demanding career path in the United States military, and at every single rank, the standard is excellence. Only a fraction of those who attempt it will earn the trident, and even fewer will climb to the very top. But for those who do, they become part of a brotherhood that has shaped the course of history, one mission at a time.